Skeptics Review the Bible by John Smith. Hey minions, it's me, Satan, your Lord and Master. So basically, this chapter of Leviticus is a repeat of a lot of things already covered. Some of these things mere chapters ago. Don't do this, don't do that, blah blah blah. Peat and Repeat read the Bible. Pete gave up mid-Leviticus from all the blood sprinkle repetition. Who was left? Now, I know what you're going to say. Satan, this chapter specifically covers the consequences of those sins and disobediences. And my answer is, why didn't God just put the consequences near these rules where he mentioned them in the first place? Well, as Lord Yahweh himself would tell you, he has to repeat himself a lot. Because apparently you guys don't get his message, unless he hits you over the head with it, again and again and again. Anyway, I really felt this chapter needed a different style of narration, just to mix things up a little. So I came up with this brilliant strategy to distract old Moses and the G-Man. Pretty. Shiny. That should keep them busy for the rest of this episode. Also, we're going to play a drinking game with this chapter. You should take a shot of something whenever you see on the screen the words holy, put to death, or their blood shall be upon them. Though I would suggest that you make it shots of beer because if it's something hard, you guys are going to get alcohol poisoning pretty fast. Are you ready, folks? Put your drinking hats on. And remember, kids, drink responsibly. So Lord Yahweh spake to whiny Moses and told that idiot to tell the Israelites to stop sacrificing their kids to Molech. Because sacrificing your kids to Molech gets you put to death. You know what to do. Also, you profane God's holy name. Take another drink. See, what's the deal with this meme about atheists eating babies anyway? It's Molech that wants to eat your kids. Anyway, Lord Yahweh talked about this in a very recent chapter. But see, here in chapter 20, he is telling you the consequences of sacrificing your kids to Molech. Right, Jews and Christians? Totally not the same thing and totally worth mentioning a second time in the infallible holy book. So, you might be asking, what are those consequences? Why, stoning to death, of course. Plus, God kicks your whole family out of the special club, and they lose the golf membership and the keys to the clubhouse. Moving on. Don't consult mediums or people who talk to the dead, which I know we covered recently. I don't know, I'm feeling some deja vu here. What about you guys? The consequences are, you lose the golf membership and the keys to the clubhouse. Uh-oh, another holy. You know what to do. Don't curse your father and your mother, even if they're verbally, physically abusive, negligent, or whatever. Lord Yahweh says cursing your parents is a death sentence. It doesn't specifically say by stoning though, so I guess that's something. But it says put to death, folks, so you know what that means. Also, his blood shall be upon him. Take a drink. Don't sleep with another man's wife, or your neighbor's wife. And don't sleep with your father's wife. Wouldn't that be your mother? Oh, that's right. In the Old Testament, men were allowed to practice polygamy, so your father's wife wasn't necessarily your mother. Anyway, the G-Man has said these things in a not too long ago video, but he didn't drive the point home that the consequences are a death sentence. So there you go. Totally different. Take another drink. Don't have sexy time with your daughter-in-law or another man. That is a death sentence. How you guys doing on the drinking? You okay? You keeping up? There's a lot of shots you gotta do on this page, so I want to make sure you're okay. You can't marry a woman and her MILF mom. Even though polygamy is okay in the Old Testament, marrying a chick and her MILF mom is not okay, and that is a death sentence. And by fire. Woo! Lord Yahweh ain't kidding with that one. Couple of hot drinks coming through. Men and women can't have sex with animals. That is a death sentence. Their blood shall be upon them. Take another drink. I guess marrying your sister only gets you kicked out of the golf club, though. No death sentence there. Also, having sex with a woman on her period gets you kicked out of the club with your golf membership revoked. So, do all the women in camp have to advertise when their monthlies are going on? I mean, how do you enforce this? Hey, random lady in camp, have you had sex with your husband in the past few days? Is Aunt Flo visiting your house? Check and double check. Lord Yahweh apparently wants you to forget about Judah and and Onan from Genesis because marrying your brother's wife is now bad. So you don't have to carry on your brother's line anymore, I guess. And Lord Yahweh will personally make sure you can never have kids if you marry your brother's wife, which is now considered bad. So I guess if you don't keep God's commands in the lands of Canaan, which is flowing with metaphorical milk and honey, where people are already living but God is evicting them. Anyway, if you don't keep Lord Yahweh's laws that he is repeating again and again for you and threatening you with death and exile because you guys don't listen very well, I guess the land itself will vomit you out or something. Literally, metaphorically, physically, I don't know. As Whiny Moses would say, icky poo and gross. Also, clean and unclean animals, hoofs and chewing the cud, that sort of thing. Oh, and finally, stone to death people who are mediums and spiritists. Lord Yahweh already mentioned them at the beginning of this chapter, but apparently he waited till the end to tell you what to do with them, because he, number one, has to repeat himself a bunch for you to get his point, and number two, I suspect that this infallible holy book that he's writing is just a stream of consciousness that he's dictating to Moses. I mean, I think that's how it went down. Anyway, stone them with stones. You have to take 2 drinks. Their blood shall be upon them. Take a drink. Look at all the drinks you have to take. So, are you guys drunk yet? King Saul must not have read Leviticus because he went to see the witch of Endor later on, and Lord Yahweh has mentioned a whole bunch of times not to talk to those people. Well, minions, that's all from Satan. Remember, the apocalypse is already in progress. Since I'm sure many of you would rather kill yourselves than read Leviticus again, I can't say I blame you. So, how drunk are you guys? Maybe the drinking part wasn't such a good idea. So before I let you guys go, I had a question for the J-Man. Hey J-Man, dude, buddy, are these laws still in effect? What's the deal? Did you make all these laws go away with the New Testament?